Hey, George, how you doing? Have any questions on the ostinato patterns? Hey, Robert, how you doing? You like the ostinatos? Everybody does. See, it's more practical. You know, you feel like you're accomplishing something, you know, like pop, boom, boom, pop. It's for, you know, playing tunes and whatever. And yeah, I do some lessons with that, but mostly with technique and execution. Because without technique and the correct execution, this is going to mean nothing. Okay, so any questions from this afternoon's lesson? Okay, we're going to wait for a few more people. That's, I'm very, very early tonight. Just want to do a little loosening up. Okay. No, I'm not. It's just that when I play, it's tension free. There's no tension. I allow the stick to do what it's supposed to do. Okay, what we got here? Okay, so you guys working the grid with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different ostinato patterns. Did you write them out? Okay, the first ostinato, 1. We're playing a hi-hat on 1, 2, 3, 4. The right cymbal on 1, 2, 3, 4. The snare drum on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and easy. 3 and the 4E and the 1E and the 2, 3, 4, What? Ah, 3. Sorry. One. Well, if you think stretching is going to help you, I mean, actually drumming is the most physical instrument to play. Okay, so your body has to be loose. So if you want to stretch, that's good. If you want to actually exercise and loosen up a little bit, I would highly recommend the first 5 or 6 lines of stick control book real slow in full strokes with the vamp. Let me demonstrate that. 1 and 2, nice and easy. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Again, 1 and 2 and 3 and vamp and nice and loose. 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. But you know, you can sit there and do, if you're feeling really, a little loose, I'd sit there and do 16th notes for 3 minutes, alternating the strokes. 3, 4. Do that for 3 or 4 minutes. If you have a timer, that's great. If you don't have one, get one. They're very inexpensive, less than $10. Go to Ace Hardware or any Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever. They have them there. Just stay loose. No gripping the stick tense. A lot of guys get the stick, they come down like this, and when they come down like that, they grab it stick. They clench their hand. When you clench your hand like that, your muscle here tightens up, and the shock of the stick, all right, goes up your arm. When I'm loose and I throw down from this point, I just stop the stick and I allow the sound and the vibration of the stick to go out. It's not grabbing the stick tight. That's why you sit there nice and loose, like doing a basketball or dribbling I don't know, soccer ball. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, singles. No tension whatsoever. It's simple. Now, I mean, stretching, you're loosening your muscles. I mean, stretching, you could hurt yourself. To move around the drum set like this, yeah, up here has to be loose. So if you feel like putting your hand behind your head or whatever, or going like this, you're stretching. Do the same thing with the foot. But don't overdo it, because then you'll pull a muscle and you're out of commission. Okay. George, you're the only one that's responding. How about you, Bob? Do you do any stretching? All right, that sounds like a good. First off, you gotta make contact with me on Skype there, George. Okay, who else is in here? Like 10 minutes to go before 7. Robert, just warmed up with the stick control book. Good. Hello, Paul. How you doing? Here's what I've been doing this afternoon. I think there's 50 of them or 48 of them in the beginning of the Morello book. You know, his 8th note exercises with the fill-ins. That, I'm writing them out for you. Okay? Well, you're going to have to wait. I have to pick them up tomorrow from the printer if they're ready. And then if they are ready, I'll mail them tomorrow. If not, I'll mail it Monday. So going to Alabama, you should get it by Wednesday or Thursday, I believe. There's no, but you have this. You have the PDFs. You have the PDFs for the stick control book formula, for the syncopation formula, and the workbook. Paul, any questions about the ostinato patterns? Yeah, but you know, it takes a long time. Let me ask you something, Paul. If I sent you you don't have a Mac, right? Your wife has a laptop, computer, not a Mac. Personal computer. If she has that, I will mail you, once I get it back, the program I use to write. You install it, and then we'll go on Skype, and I'll help you out with it somewhat. How's that sound? You have a PC or you have Mac? All right, well, the ostinatos are pretty easy. The one where we stopped was we took, and this is associated with the paradiddle ostinato. God damn it. Oh, my left hand is hurting. On the end. On the dot. That's the paradiddle ostinato. You don't have a Mac. Hey Jim, how you doing? So from, you know, I'm not doing the whole stick control book. There's quite a few variations on the stick control book that you could have developed an ostinato pattern with. That was line 5. All I did, instead of playing line 5 like this, I'm playing line 5 between the right hand on the hi-hat and the left hand on the snare, and I'm plowing 2 and 4. That's the paradiddle. And you do the grid. And I'm going to write a few. They should be in your stick control book formulas. The one I really like is line 6. Okay, if you get line 6, it's right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left. So it's presented to you in the 8th note formation. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Excuse me. So what I do is I take that in a 16th note formation. 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a bop. And I take that and put it on the hi-hat, the right hand, and the left hand on the snare drum. And that's nice because on the count of 2 and the count of 4, that left hand falls on the snare drum. 1 E and a 2. 3 E and a 4 E and a. Now, if you go into the either the Shafee book, if you have that, or the stick control book, or the what you call the workbook, the ostinatos, where I put the paradiddle ostinatos, I did that whole page. I wrote it out for you. I think it's 1 through 26, I think. Hey, Jimmy, where are you, man? I was counting on you this afternoon. Remember what we talked about? Okay, so we go to line 6. You have 1 E and 2 E and 3 E, 3 E and 4 E and over and over. 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and over and over again. Now the first thing you want to feel comfortable with is just place the bass drum on 1 and 3. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1, 2, 3 E and 4 E and okay, now that's putting the bass drum on 1 and 3. Now we'll move the bass drum over to the E of 1 and the E of 3. 1 E and 1 E, I'm sorry, 1 E and 2 E and we see that, guys? 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and any questions with that? Any questions on the E? Now remember, don't let that E dictate to you the volume of that snare drum. A lot of guys go 1 E. That sounds terrible. You got to keep that note consistent. 1 E, so it's 1 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and you see that? You understand? Then we go to the and. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and now with those ostinatos, I'm not sure if I wrote number 6. Okay, ouch. I'm not sure if I wrote number 6, the line 6 out that way. You could check for me. I don't have the book. Yeah, I do. Okay, hold on. Go to the workbook. Let's see what we got. Ostinato number 3. There is a mistake there, and I'll point it out to you as soon as you open it up. That's cymbal ostinato number 3. Everybody have that? Ostinato number 3, guys. Let me know when you're there. George, you should have it. Jimmy, Paul, Robert. Let me know when you have it so I can continue. And I'll point out the mistake I made. when you're doing hours and hours of writing, you're bound to make a mistake. So I apologize for being human. You have it, okay? Jard, you're on ostinato number 3. Okay? Look at the first one. Now, I put a bass drum pattern in there on the da of 3. Just cross that out. Because the bass drum here is falling on 1 and 3. 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and sorry. 3, E, and 4, E, and Do we see the first one? Paul? Robert? Jimmy, you have it? Everybody have that? That's the bass drum on 1 and 3. 1, E, and 2, E. We're waiting on who? Jimmy? Jimmy! Bass drum 1 and 3. 1, E, and 2. 3. 4, E, and 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and All right, you marked it out. Okay, let's go to number 2. Now there we permutate, or it's part of the grid. So what we're doing now, instead of putting the bass drum on the count of 1 and 3, we're doing it on the E of 1 and the E of 3. Now remember what I asked or said. Do not let the bass drum dictate the sound of that left hand. You're constant. See? Now if I put the bass drum on the E, it's not on the downbeat, it's on the E, so it's a little unusual. 1, E, and 2. 3, E, and 4, E, and Do we understand that? Got it? That's number 2. So you want to play, make them flow. Take number 1, play it a couple times. Oh, that gets me crazy. Make it flow. Number 2. So you make number 1, number 2 flow really nice. Once you get number 1 and 2, challenge number 3. Number 3 now, the bass drum shifts over to the and of 1 and the and of 3. So now you have 1 E and 2, 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2, 3 E and pop, 1 E and 2, 3 E and 4 E and Make the sound on top consistent. Now an ostinato is a rhythm or a pattern which is played over and over and over again. Not only rhythmically, but also sound-wise. Got it? All right, we're on number 5 now. The bass drum's going to be on, we're going to extend it. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4. Bop. So now we have 1 E and 2, 3 E and 4, 1 E and 2, 3 E and 4. Any questions on that? That was number 5. Now, the challenge here is you want to play from 1 to 10. You can't, go to 11 because then you got to change turn the page. That's why you guys have the PDFs. Okay? So you can put one page there and the other page there when it's going from 10 to 11. Okay, so now that was 5. Now on the 6th one, we're doing the bass drum on the 1 and the 3 and. We have 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Yeah, well, these are fun, but now you got to be able to use them. What you're actually developing is you're developing obviously coordination, but you're on one platform right now and you're counting because counting is essential. Once you got these going on, once they start flowing, you're going to start humming the bass drum part. And then we can move over to the new breed. A lot of guys say, let's start at the new breed. Well, man, they all fall down. You got to develop slowly. I mean, if you think you're ready for the new breed, we'll go there. But I don't really think so. Do we agree with that or not? See, you're actually, if I'm playing the bass drum on 1 and 3, I'm gonna change the ostinato to simplify it. Boom, boom. That's 1 and 2, 3. Half note. Ba 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 ba. See how I'm humming that? That's very simple. Well, you get a bass line like like 1 boom 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 boom. George agrees, Paul agrees. Robert's playing his drums. Jimmy sucking on a reed. Just kidding, guys. All right, so now, here's where we're going to wind up Wednesday. Wednesday, 1 p.m. We are going to do all of ostinato number 3. Page, we're going to do 1 through 22. Look it over for a minute, and if you have a difficulty understanding from 1 to 22, shoot it out. Tell me, I'll explain it. It's like I don't want to waste your time, guys. If you do understand it, that's cool. So look from 1 to 22. If you're not certain of a number, say number 18 or whatever it might be, just tell me and then I'll break it down for you. Robert, you still here? Before you guys got here, Jard and Robert and Robert was here, but Jard was asking about, he's stiff for the first 10 minutes, and there's a lot that has to do with it. One thing that Morella always told me, Matt, always stay loose. You never know when you're going to have to sit in. So I kind of stay loose all the time. And it's a mental state of mind, actually, because your mind controls your muscles, okay? So mentally, I'm certain of what I'm doing. That's half the battle. When you're uncertain of what you're doing, the tensions are going to exist. So we have to eliminate that. You got to get certain of what you're doing. All right, so you have 1 through 22. Don't call it homework. Just call it whatever besides homework. Call it something else. All right, and now you're looking from 1 through 22. Is there anything that you want me to break down somewhat? Jard, Jimmy, Robert, Paul? 12 people are watching. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people are in the chat. Unbelievable. How can that be? I invite people to come to a lesson free of charge until they become a member of my site. Okay? They're watching the lesson, but they're not in the chat. Ask a question. And if Randy is listening, Randy, thank you very, very much for doing what you did yesterday. That was nice of you. Very, very nice. It says 14, Jim. That's all right. You're taking notes. Okay. Uh-oh. Good. You should. Well, you're really, developing the foot musically, because when you're doing these ostinatos, especially when they're from the Gary Shafee book, the dominant voice should be, all right, the bass drum, as opposed to the smack on the 2 and smack on the 4. You guys looked at 1 through 22. Anybody want me to go over any of it? Any questions on it? I'll break it down, but you got to make sure you are counting. It's very, very, very relevant. All right. Isn't that amazing, Jimmy? 14 people are in here. They're watching, and only 5 people are in the chat. Does that make any sense? What the hell's the sense of coming? Say hello, Matt, and we'll recognize. Let's be recognized. Make new friends, drumming friends. Talk about your approach, your technique. It's a beautiful thing. There's no competition here. I was practicing my molar today. What absurd, oh man. Okay, nobody wants me to go over any of them from 1 to 22. Jar, being that this is maybe the 2nd time or 3rd time we've been hanging out with this, you really need to count 16th notes. For example, if let's go back to number 1. We're on cymbal ostinato number 3. We're going to do number 1. Now, I'd like you to count 16th notes. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and okay? Now that's a counting system of 16th notes. Do you understand the counting systems? The quarter note, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 8th note, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm not going to do the triplet. 16th notes, 1 E, the 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and about 10 years ago, there was a video on YouTube, or maybe a little less than 10 years, and it was about systems of counting, how to count quarter notes, 8th notes, triplets, and 16th notes. Do you believe that this guy is very famous today, or he's an entrepreneur making a hell of a lot of money? It was odds that were different. What do you mean? What are you talking? Are you talking about the groupings, the table of time? That's a whole different ball game here. Right now we're just in a 16th note mode. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. Okay, E and a. Sorry, so we're doing the 16ths for this particular ostinato. It's all here in black and white. The hi-hat part The snare drum part, the bass drum part. 1, E, and, 2, E, sorry. 3, E, and, 4, E, and, That's what you need to do. You got to take it slow. You have to be totally relaxed. Let it flow. Then you're going to start to realize things that you're doing that you need to correct. And you will. Okay, you need to count. Now, I'm not professing to be a great technician, but I try to play as musical as possible when I'm even demonstrating a lesson. You know, a lot of guys will hit this like this. They'll go 1 E and 2 E and. I mean, that's ridiculous. You know, move that arm up there like that. Oh, Jesus. Matt, stop. How many guys here have the 150 rudimental drum solos, rudimental swing, in the NARD book? All right, well, let me go over that for you. The 5s and the 7s. Yep, all right. Anyway, what you're doing, it's a basic counting system. You're doing 16th notes. 1 E and 2 E and. Listen to the bass drum. That's my pulse. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. So my pulse is telling me I'm playing a. I don't know how you want to chord. It's groupings of 4, equal distant to the next downbeat. I'm not going 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2, you know? I'm counting 16ths. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Now, if I want to do an odd grouping of 5, that means I have to get 5 notes equal distant in between the downbeats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now notice how relaxed that is. I'm not interrupting the sound. I'm allowing the stick to do what it's supposed to do. I'm not interfering with the motion. Okay, and also there's no tension, like I just mentioned. About 50% of tension comes from not being certain or insecurity. Agreed? All right, well, we're going to work at it eventually, I don't know when. I got so many things on the agenda, I don't know what to do first. And I'm doing ostinato patterns, and now I'm on the table of time. The 7s, one more, the 7s. You're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When I get to 7, I eliminate the in. Sev is one syllable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1. Now, if you remember, the slower you practice, the more you're going to accomplish. Okay? And by doing it slow, you're developing a sense of relaxation, a total control of everything, the rhythm, the sound, the sticking heights, and whatever. Once you get there comfortably, then you move it up a little bit. And you're going to feel comfortable again. This doesn't take, 2 days or 2 hours of practicing. It takes a lot of practice, going over and over, consistency. Oh boy, oh boy. It never ends. Never. And you know, the longer you play and the more you know, the worse you are. Because you all the stuff that you see that you should know, you don't. So you feel bad. So you gotta take that negative feeling, being bad, be happy about what doors opened up for you and work at it. Ay, binga. Okay. Now remember, 1 through 22, with that particular ostinato, we are going to do that Wednesday, 1 p.m. Now, I'm working on, like I said, the fill-ins on the Morello book. I'm going to put them all together and send you the PDFs. Okay? Are there any questions about tonight? Ding dong, ding, ding dong, ding. Any questions? Going once, going twice. Have a nice Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday off. A lot of practice time there. Come up with your questions. Write them down or send them to me email. You're welcome, Paul. Okay, I'm going to sign off, and I'll see everybody Wednesday, 1 p.m. Ostinato number 3, 1 through 22. Got it, guys?